The main thing is to develop the pieces quickly. Get them into play as fast as you can. From the outset, two moves, e4 or d4, open up lines for the queen and a bishop. Therefore, theoretically one of these two moves must be the best, as no other first move accomplishes so much. Suppose we begin. e4, e5, knight f3. This is both an attacking and a developing move. Black can now either reply with the identical move or play as follows. Knight c6. This developing move at the same time defends the e-pawn. Knight c3. Knight f6. These moves are of a purely developing nature. Bishop b5. It is generally advisable not to bring this bishop out until one knight is out, preferably the king's knight. The bishop could also have been played to c4, but it is advisable whenever possible to combine development and attack. Bishop b4. Black replies in the same manner, threatening a possible exchange of bishop for knight with knight takes e4 to follow. Castle kingside. An indirect way of preventing bishop takes c3, which more experience or study will show to be bad. At the same time the rook is brought into action in the center, a very important point. Castle kingside. Black follows the same line of reasoning. d3. d6. These moves have a twofold object, to protect the e-pawn and to open the diagonal for the development of the queen's bishop. Bishop g5. A very powerful move, which brings us to the middle game stage, as there is already in view a combination to win quickly by knight d5. The threat makes it impossible for black to continue the same course. There is a long analysis showing that black should lose if he also plays bishop g4. Bishop takes c3. He is now forced to play this capture, as experience has shown, thus bringing up to notice three things. First, the complete development of the opening has taken only 7 moves. This varies up to 10 or 12 moves in some very exceptional cases. As a rule, 8 should be enough. Second, black has been compelled to exchange a bishop for a knight, but as a compensation he has isolated white's a-pawn and doubled a pawn. This, at such an early stage of the game, is rather an advantage for white, as the pawn is doubled towards the center of the board. Third, white by the exchange brings up a pawn to control the square d4, puts black on the defensive, as experience will show, and thus keeps the initiative, an unquestionable advantage. The value of the initiative is explained in Chapter 4. The strategical principles expounded above are the same for all the openings, only their tactical application varies according to the circumstances. Before proceeding further, I wish to lay stress on the following point which the student should bear in mind. Before development has been completed, no piece should be moved more than once, unless it is essential in order to obtain either material advantage or to secure freedom of action. The beginner would do well to remember this, as well as what has already been stated: bring out the knights before bringing out the bishops.